My roommate's girlfriend has been living here for 3 months rent-free, and now they're saying I'm the one who needs to leave. I moved in with Tyler back in January. We've been casual friends from college, needed roommates, found a solid 2-bedroom near downtown. First few months were totally normal. We split everything 50-50, stayed out of each other's way. Perfect setup. Then in April, Tyler's girlfriend Kayla started staying over. Just a weekend at first, then a few days. Then she never left. By May, her stuff had completely taken over the common areas. Her shampoo in the shower, her food filling the fridge with little notes saying, Kayla's, don't touch, her shoes by the door. I asked Tyler when she was planning to go back to her place. He got weird about it, saying she was between apartments and just needed a few more weeks. I dropped it because I didn't want drama. But things started getting strange in ways I couldn't explain. The mail was the first thing. Official envelopes started showing up, addressed to Kayla at our address. Not just packages, but bank statements, insurance documents, DMV paperwork. She was using this as her permanent address, which seemed odd for someone temporarily staying with her boyfriend. Then I noticed Kayla answering our apartment door when people knocked, introducing herself like she lived here. When my sister visited, Kayla gave her a full tour, pointing out where everything was, talking about the apartment like it was hers. The landlord started acting different around me. I'd see him in the parking lot and he'd avoid eye contact, hurry to his car. When I texted about a maintenance issue with my bathroom sink, I got no response. But Tyler mentioned their requests were getting handled same day. My friends stopped coming over. When I asked my buddy Jake why, he said Tyler had called him saying I'd been acting really aggressive lately, that he was worried about my mental health. I hadn't been acting any different. But somehow this story was spreading. I started finding paperwork left out on the kitchen counter, legal forms with certain sections highlighted in yellow. I tried to read them closer once, but Kayla appeared from nowhere and snatched them away, saying they were private documents for something she was handling. Things in my room started disappearing. Small stuff at first. A watch I'd left on my dresser, some old textbooks from a shelf, then bigger things. My printer, a box of old photos. When I asked Tyler if he'd seen them, he said I probably just misplaced stuff and was stressed. Last week, I came home to find Tyler and Kayla sitting on the couch waiting for me. They said they'd been talking, and they felt it would be better for everyone if I found somewhere else to live. Less tension, Tyler said. A fresh start. I reminded him both our names were on the lease. Kayla smiled, this weird knowing smile, and said leases can be complicated. That sometimes the situation on paper doesn't match the reality of who actually lives somewhere. I went to my room and tore apart my filing cabinet looking for my copy of the lease. It was gone. I checked every drawer, every box, nowhere. I logged into the landlord's tenant portal to download a new copy, but when I typed in my email and password, the system said no account existed. I tried password recovery. No email found. Like I'd never had an account. I called the landlord directly, asked for a copy of my lease. He was quiet for a long time, then said my name wasn't in his system. Not as a current tenant, not as a past tenant. He asked who I was and why I was calling about an apartment I didn't live in. I started shaking. Told him I'd lived here since January. My name was on the lease. I'd paid rent every month. He said his records showed Tyler and Kayla had been the only tenants since January. That they'd signed a 2-bedroom lease together. I hung up and went straight to Tyler's room. The door was unlocked. I started searching through his desk. That's when I found the folder. The rest of the story is on my channel or linked below. I open the folder and my heart stops. Inside are dozens of documents, meticulously organized with color-coded tabs and highlighting. The top sheet is a lease agreement, our lease agreement, except it's not. My name is nowhere on it. Just Tyler and Kayla, listed as co-tenants since January. The date matches when I moved in, but according to this document, I don't exist. My hands shake as I flip through more pages. Rental application forms with both their signatures, credit check authorizations, renter's insurance policy, everything perfectly in order, as if they'd been planning this from the beginning. Deeper in the folder, I find something that makes my blood run cold. Photographs of me. They're candid shots taken around the apartment, some through my bedroom doorway while I was sleeping. Each one has a red X marked across my face. Under one photo, there's a note in Tyler's handwriting. Week 8, subject becoming suspicious of male situation. The next page is a typed document titled Displacement Strategy. It reads like a playbook. Phase 1, integration. Subject accepts temporary guest. Phase 2, normalization. Guest becomes fixture in environment. Phase 3, documentation. Establish paper trail. Remove subject's documentation. Phase 4, isolation. Cut subject off from support network. Phase 5, gaslighting. Create doubt about subject's living situation. Phase 6, confrontation. Force subject to vacate voluntarily. Phase 7, complete erasure. Remove all evidence of subject's tenancy. There are detailed notes under each phase. Under isolation, it says, tell friends subject is having mental health crisis. Suggest concern, not accusation. Plant seeds of doubt. Under gaslighting, there's a bullet point. Move personal items incrementally. Start small, watch, books, then escalate to important documents. I feel sick. This isn't random. This is calculated, methodical. They've been working this plan for months while I thought Tyler was my friend. I'm so absorbed in the documents that I don't hear the front door open. It's only when I hear footsteps in the hallway that I look up to see Tyler and Kayla standing in the doorway, staring at me. What are you doing in my room? Tyler asks, his voice eerily calm. I hold up the folder. What is this? Why do you have pictures of me? Why is there a fake lease with your names on it? Kayla steps forward, her face a mask of concern. This is exactly what we were worried about, she says softly, like she's talking to a child. These paranoid episodes. Episodes? This is your handwriting, I say to Tyler, pointing at the notes. You've been planning this for months. Tyler exchanges a look with Kayla. You're in my private space, going through my personal files, and now you're making wild accusations. This is why we asked you to leave. These aren't wild accusations. I'm shouting now. You've been gaslighting me. You've been stealing my stuff and telling my friends I'm crazy. Kayla steps closer, her voice gentle but firm. You need to understand something. Legally, you have no standing here. You're not on the lease. You've never been on the lease. We've allowed you to stay here as a favor to Tyler because you were going through a rough time. That's a lie. We signed the lease together in January. Tyler sighs dramatically. Where's your copy then? Show me your proof. You took it. It's in your strategy. Remove subject's documentation. There's a knock at the front door. Kayla goes to answer it while Tyler blocks the doorway, preventing me from leaving his room with the folder. I hear muffled conversation. Then Kayla returns with our landlord. Mr. Reeves, I say, relieved to see him. him. Please tell Tyler that I'm on the lease, that I've been living here since January. The landlord looks confused. I'm sorry, but who are you exactly? I'm the other tenant. We've met multiple times. I paid you the security deposit in cash, remember? You gave me a receipt. He shakes his head slowly. Ma'am, I've never seen you before. Tyler and Kayla are my only tenants in this unit. Show him the folder, I demand. But when I turn around, Tyler has already slipped it somewhere. He gives me a look of pity. I think you should go lie down, he says. You're having another episode. The landlord is looking at me like I'm dangerous. Kayla has her arm around him protectively. Tyler is blocking my exit. I'm not crazy, I whisper, but my voice sounds weak even to me. I push past Tyler and run to my bedroom, locking the door behind me. I hear them talking in low voices outside. Words like concerning and unstable filter through. I drag my dresser in front of the door and sit on my bed, trying to think. They've been planning this for months. They've thought of everything. They've created a paper trail. They've isolated me from my friends. They've convinced the landlord I don't exist. I need evidence. I need proof that I live here. I frantically search through my belongings, looking for anything with my name and this address. But as I tear through drawers and boxes, I realize with mounting horror that anything official mail, documents, receipts has systematically disappeared. I barricade myself in for the night, pushing my bed against the door for good measure. I can hear them moving around the apartment, voices low and casual, as if they haven't just revealed themselves as calculated predators. Tomorrow, I'll figure out what to do. Tomorrow, I'll find proof. Tonight, I just need to survive. I wake up to the sound of drawers being opened and closed in the kitchen. For a moment, I forget everything that happened yesterday. The folder, the confrontation, the landlord who didn't recognize me. Then it all comes rushing back, and I sit up with a jolt. The dresser is still pushed against my bedroom door. I listen for a few minutes, hearing Tyler and Kayla's muffled voices in the kitchen. When things go quiet, I slowly move the dresser and crack open my door. The apartment looks normal, which somehow makes everything more terrifying. I slip into the bathroom and notice immediately that my toothbrush is gone. So is my face wash, my moisturizer, my prescription medication. Everything with my name on it has vanished. Back in my room, I frantically check my drawers. My passport is missing. So is my birth certificate. The box where I kept important documents is completely empty. I grab my phone with shaking hands and call Jake, my oldest friend. He's known me since college, long before I met Tyler. Can we meet? I ask when he answers. Something really bad is happening. There's a pause. Yeah, I guess. Are you okay? No, I'm not. Please, Jake. The coffee shop on 4th in an hour? Fine, but just for a bit. When I arrive at the coffee shop, Jake is already there, sitting in a corner booth. He looks uncomfortable, fidgeting with his coffee cup. Thanks for coming, I say, sliding into the seat across from him. Tyler called me, Jake says without preamble. He's really worried about you. My stomach drops. What did he tell you? Jake won't quite meet my eyes. That you're having some kind of breakdown. That you broke into his room and went through his stuff. That you've been making accusations. Jake, I've known you for 8 years. Do I seem like I'm having a breakdown? He finally looks at me. You look terrible. Because I barricaded myself in my room last night. Tyler and Kayla are trying to make it look like I don't live in the apartment. They've created fake documents. They've been stealing my things. They've been planning this for months. Jake shifts uncomfortably. Tyler said you might say something like this. He said you've been acting paranoid for weeks. When have you ever known me to be paranoid? I demand. Well, there was that time in senior year when you thought your professor was failing you on purpose. He was. The dean confirmed it. Jake sighs. Tyler said you've been aggressive with Kayla, that you resent her being there. Of course I resent her being there. She was supposed to stay for a week and it's been 3 months, and now they're trying to erase me from the apartment entirely. I pull out my phone. Look, I need to show you something. I open my banking app and scroll through recent transactions. See these payments? Every month, I've been paying rent to Tyler, who supposedly pays the landlord, but the landlord claims he's never seen me before. Jake looks at the screen, frowning. That doesn't prove anything. Maybe Tyler just handles the rent. Why would the landlord pretend not to know me? And look at this. I show him my email. I got a notification that my mail forwarding request was processed. I never requested mail forwarding. Maybe it's a mistake. It's not a mistake. They're systematically erasing me. My voice rises, and I notice people at nearby tables glancing over. I lower my voice. Jake, I found a receipt in Tyler's room for a storage unit. I think my stuff is there. Jake stands up. I should go. I have a thing. You don't believe me. He hesitates. I think you need help. Tyler said you stopped taking your medication. What medication? I'm not on any psychiatric medication. Is that what he told you? Look, I care about you, but Tyler's been really consistent about this. He said you've been having these paranoid episodes for months. That you accused Kayla of stealing your clothes, of moving your things. She has been. They both have. Jake backs away. I'm sorry. I hope you get the help you need. After he leaves, I sit there, feeling more alone than ever. Tyler has poisoned everyone against me. I spend the rest of the day gathering evidence. I go to the post office, where they confirm someone submitted a change of address form for me 2 weeks ago. I visit the landlord's office, where the receptionist checks their system and finds no record of my rental application or security deposit. But there must be something, I insist. I've lived there since January. I'm sorry, ma'am. The only tenants listed are Tyler Mercer and Kayla Dawson. I check my bank records again and realize with horror that all my rent payments have gone to Tyler's personal account, not to any property management company. On a hunch, I visit the apartment building's security office. I need to see footage from the main entrance from January 15th. That's when I moved in. The security guard checks his computer. That's weird. Looks like there's a gap in our archives. January footage is missing. When I return to the apartment, the neighbor from across the hall stops me in the corridor. Everything okay over there? She asks. We've been hearing a lot of shouting the past few days. No, everything is not okay, I say. My roommate and his girlfriend are trying to. You're the roommate? She interrupts, looking confused. I thought it was just the couple living there, Tyler and Kayla, right? I've been living here since January, I say through gritted teeth. She gives me a strange look. I've never seen you before last week. I push past her and unlock my door. Inside, Tyler and Kayla are sitting on the couch, looking perfectly normal. Where have you been all day? Tyler asks casually. Gathering evidence, I say. I know what you're doing. Kayla sighs dramatically. Tyler, I told you we should have called someone yesterday. She's getting worse. I'm not getting worse, I shout. You're gaslighting me. You're trying to make me think I'm crazy. Tyler stands up. No one's trying to make you think anything. We're concerned about you. This paranoia, these accusations, it's not healthy. I found the storage unit receipt, I say. I know you packed up my things. They exchange a look I can't quite read. What things? things? Kayla asks innocently. Everything in this apartment belongs to us. My clothes, my books, my documents. You mean the things you brought when Tyler let you crash here temporarily? Kayla interrupts. Those things are in storage because you refused to take them when we asked you to leave. There's a knock at the door. Tyler answers it, and I see our neighbor standing there with a concerned expression. Everything okay? She asks. I heard shouting again. Everything's fine, Tyler says smoothly. Just a difficult situation with our friend here. She's been having some troubles lately. The neighbor looks at me with pity, and something in me breaks. They've thought of everything. They've covered every angle. They've rewritten reality itself. I retreat to my room again, locking the door behind me. I need a new plan. I need to find actual proof, because right now, it's their word against mine, and they've made sure no one will believe me. After the confrontation with my neighbor, I realize I need a different approach. These people are methodical. They've been planning this for months. If they've done this to me, there's a chance they've done it to others. I wait until Tyler and Kayla leave for work the next morning, then start researching on my laptop. I search Tyler's full name along with keywords like roommate, fraud, and lease. Nothing comes up immediately, but when I add Kayla's name to the search, I find something. A Reddit post from 8 months ago. My roommates are trying to convince me I don't live in my own apartment. My hands shake as I click on it. The story is eerily familiar. A person named Alex describing how their roommate and his girlfriend gradually took over their apartment, stole their documents, and convinced everyone they were delusional. The post was deleted, but comments remain, mostly people suggesting the poster was paranoid or mentally ill. I message the account, not expecting a response, but within minutes my phone buzzes. Who is this? The message reads. Someone experiencing exactly what you described. Tyler and Kayla. 3 dots appear, disappear, then reappear. Finally, call me. Now, a phone number follows. The woman who answers sounds cautious. How did you find me? Your Reddit post about Tyler and Kayla. They're doing the same thing to me. She exhales sharply. I'm not the only one. Jesus Christ. They did this to me last year. I ended up homeless for 2 months. Alex? Alexandra. But everyone calls me Alex. Can we meet? I need to understand what happened. 2 hours later, I'm sitting across from Alex in a coffee shop far from my apartment. She's nervous, constantly checking the door. I lived with Tyler for 4 months, she explains. Kayla showed up, supposedly between apartments. Sound familiar? I nod, feeling sick. They did exactly what you described. My stuff disappeared. Friends thought I was having a breakdown. Landlord had no record of me. She pulls out her phone, but I was smarter than they expected. I kept evidence. She shows me photos of her mail addressed to that apartment, screenshots of text messages with Tyler confirming her move-in date, bank statements showing rent payments. Did you go to the police? I ask. I tried. They believed Tyler's story that I was a temporary guest who refused to leave, but after I lost the apartment, I did some digging. She pulls out a folder. Tyler has done this 3 times that I know of. And Kayla? She works for Westside Property Management. My heart stops. That's my building's management company. Exactly. She has access to tenant records, lease applications, security deposits. She can make people disappear from the system. But why? What do they gain? Think about it. You pay rent to Tyler, right? Not to the landlord directly? I nod. So they collect your rent while Kayla makes sure the management company only has their names on file. Double income, same apartment. Plus they get your security deposit when you move out. That's thousands of dollars. Multiply that by multiple victims. And here's the kicker. She slides a printout across the table. Tyler has a record. Petty fraud. Identity theft. He pled down to misdemeanors, but the pattern is clear. I scan the document, seeing Tyler's mugshot. We need more evidence. I have contact information for 2 other victims, Alex says. 1 in Portland, 1 here in the city. The Portland guy, Marcus, actually managed to get his apartment back. He set up cameras and caught them in the act. That night, I ordered tiny hidden cameras online with rush delivery. While waiting, I speak with both previous victims. Their stories match mine, exactly same tactics, same gaslighting, same isolation. When the cameras arrive, I install them strategically. 1 in my bedroom facing the door, 1 in the living room bookshelf, and 1 disguised as a USB charger in the kitchen. I make sure they're well hidden and connected to my phone. For 3 days, I act defeated. I stay in my room mostly, barely speaking to Tyler or Kayla. They seem to relax, thinking they've won. On the 4th day, I get the alert I've been waiting for. Motion detected in my bedroom while I'm out getting groceries. I watch the live feed on my phone from my car. Tyler methodically going through my drawers, removing documents, checking under my mattress. Kayla stands in the doorway as lookout. Found her bank statements, Tyler says on the video. She's still got proof of the rent payments to me. Take them all, Kayla replies, and check her laptop. She might have digital copies. I record everything, downloading the videos to a secure cloud account that Alex helped me set up. The next day, they hit the jackpot, my hidden emergency cache, and the flash drive where I keep important documents. This is the last of it, Tyler says on camera. Once these are gone, she's got nothing. I've seen enough. I call the other victims, and we agree to meet at my apartment that evening when Tyler and Kayla will be home. At 7 p.m., the doorbell rings. Tyler answers, confused to see 3 strangers standing with me. Who are these people? He asks, his voice carefully controlled. Your previous victims, I say, walking past him into the living room where Kayla is sitting. Alex, Marcus, and Jen. All people you've done this to before. Kayla's face goes white. Tyler's friendly mask slips for just a second before he recovers. I don't know what you're talking about, he says. These people need to leave our apartment. Your apartment? Marcus steps forward. Like it was my apartment before you erased me? Like it was Alex's before that? We have evidence, I say, holding up my phone. Hidden camera footage of you stealing my documents, bank records showing my rent payments to Tyler, and Kayla's employment at Westside Property Management, which is a clear conflict of interest. Tyler's face changes completely. The mask falls away, revealing something cold and dangerous. You think anyone will believe you? He snarls, stepping toward me. You and your little band of crazies? We've already established you're unstable. The neighbor saw it. Your friends believe it. Back off, Marcus warns, stepping between us. Tyler shoves him hard. Get out of my apartment before I call the police. Please do, Alex says, already dialing. Save us the trouble. Tyler lunges at her phone, but Marcus blocks him. Tyler throws a punch, connecting with Marcus's jaw. The situation escalates quickly. Tyler shoving, threatening, his face contorted with rage. You stupid bitch, he spits at me. You think you can expose us? I'll make sure you never find another apartment in this city. I'll make sure everyone thinks you're insane. Kayla tries to pull him back. Tyler, stop. The neighbors will will hear. Let them hear, he shouts. These people broke into our apartment. They're threatening us. The police arrive 15 minutes later to find us all still there, Tyler having barricaded himself and Kayla in their bedroom after his outburst. What's going on here? The officer asks, looking between us. I take a deep breath and start explaining, showing them the video evidence on my phone. These people have been systematically erasing me from my own apartment. They've done it to these other victims too. The officer looks skeptical until Alex shows him the police report she filed last year. Then Marcus shows the documentation of his case. We'll need statements from all of you, the officer says finally, and we'll need to speak with the property management company. As they lead Tyler and Kayla out for questioning, Tyler gives me one last venomous look. This isn't over, he mouths silently. But for the first time in months, I feel like maybe it is, or at least the beginning of the end. I have allies now, I have evidence, and most importantly, I have confirmation that I'm not crazy, that what I experienced was real. The police take our statements well into the night. They're particularly interested in Kayla's connection to the property management company and the pattern established across multiple victims. They confiscate my cameras as evidence, but allow me to keep copies of the footage. We'll be investigating this thoroughly, the lead officer assures me. In the meantime, do you have somewhere safe to stay? I look at my fellow victims, now my unexpected support system. Alex nods at me. She can stay with me, she says. We're not letting her go through this alone. For the first time in months, I feel a weight lifting. There's still a long road ahead. Legal battles, recovering my documents, rebuilding my life. But tonight, I'm not fighting alone. The detective assigned to our case calls me 5 days after the confrontation. Her name is Reeves, and she sounds exhausted but determined. We've uncovered quite the operation here, she says. Your evidence was just the tip of the iceberg. I'm sitting in Alex's spare bedroom, which has become my temporary sanctuary. My laptop is open to apartment listings. I've been searching obsessively, even though I know I should wait until this is resolved. What did you find? I ask, trying to keep my voice steady. Kayla Dawson has been manipulating tenant records at Westside for over 2 years. We've identified at least 7 victims so far, not just the 4 of you who came forward. My stomach tightens. 7 people, 7 lives disrupted, 7 people made to feel crazy. And Tyler? He's got priors we didn't initially connect. Different last name back then. The 2 of them have been running this scheme since they met at a property management conference in 2019. I think about how friendly Tyler was when I first moved in, how he helped me carry boxes, how we stayed up late talking that first week. All calculated, all fake. What happens now? I ask. They're both in custody. Fraud, identity theft, criminal conspiracy. The DA is pushing for maximum charges given the pattern. She pauses. And we've been in contact with your landlord. Mr. Reeves is, well, he's mortified. I almost laugh at the understatement. He didn't even recognize me. He was shown altered records. Kayla had created an entire file showing you'd been evicted from a previous Westside property for non-payment. Made you look like a squatter with a history of false claims. 2 hours later, I'm sitting across from Mr. Reeves in the Westside property management office. He can't meet my eyes. I don't know what to say, he mumbles, shuffling through papers. The level of deception here is, I've never seen anything like it. He slides a document across the desk. It's my original lease application from January, complete with my signature and his approval stamp. We found this in the archived files. Kayla had removed it from the active system. He pushes another document forward, and this is your original lease. You've been a legal tenant this entire time. I stare at the paper, my name clearly printed alongside Tyler's. Proof I wasn't crazy. Proof I belonged there all along. We'll be pressing charges against Miss Dawson, of course. Mr. Reeves continues. And we want to make this right. Your tenancy rights are fully restored, and we'll cover the cost of retrieving your belongings from storage. I think about returning to that apartment, sleeping in that room where Tyler and Kayla systematically dismantled my reality. I don't want to live there anymore, I say quietly. Mr. Reeves nods like he expected this. We have other properties. I can arrange a transfer to any available unit, same rent, no additional security deposit. That afternoon, Marcus drives me to the storage facility where my belongings have been sitting for weeks. Unit 247, just like on the receipt I found in Tyler's desk. The manager cuts the lock after verifying my ID against the police report. Inside are boxes neatly labeled in Tyler's handwriting. Kitchen, clothes, books, documents. So methodical, even in his deception. We load everything into Marcus's truck, and I spend the ride back to Alex's place sifting through the documents box. My passport is there, my birth certificate, my original copy of the lease that mysteriously disappeared from my room, even my childhood photos that had been displayed on my dresser. They took everything that proved I existed. They were thorough, Marcus says, glancing at the box, just like they were with me. How did you get your apartment back? I ask, remembering Alex had mentioned his success. Documentation and persistence. I had cloud backups of everything, lease, payments, emails with the landlord, and I got lucky my landlord wasn't in on it like yours was. The next week passes in a blur of police statements, meetings with the district attorney, and apartment hunting. Mr. Reeves makes good on his promise, showing me 3 different units in buildings across town. I choose a 1-bedroom on the 7th floor of a secure building with keycard access and lobby security cameras. No roommates. Never again. Alex introduces me to a support group for fraud victims. It meets weekly in a community center downtown, and at my first meeting, I'm startled to find 15 people there, all with similar stories. Financial fraud leaves invisible scars, the facilitator explains. People don't understand the psychological impact of having your reality questioned, your identity erased. I listen to others share their experiences, identities stolen by family members, life savings taken by trusted advisors, homes lost to elaborate scams. Their stories are different from mine, but the aftermath is the same. The paranoia, the self-doubt, the difficulty trusting again. When it's my turn to speak, I tell them everything. The gradual disappearance of my belongings, the isolation from friends, the landlord who looked through me like I was a ghost. The worst part wasn't losing my stuff, I say, my voice breaking. It was doubting myself, wondering if I really was crazy. Heads nod around the circle. They understand in a way no one else can. Moving day arrives exactly 1 month after the confrontation with Tyler and Kayla. Jake helps me carry boxes into my new apartment, his way of apologizing for not believing me. I should have listened, he says for the third time, setting down a box of kitchen supplies. Tyler was just so convincing. That's how they operate, I reply, not quite ready to forgive him yet. They're professionals. My new apartment feels sterile but safe. I install a security system with door sensors and motion detectors. I set up cameras that feed directly to my phone. I create a documentation system for everything: rent payments, maintenance requests, interactions with neighbors, all timestamped and backed up to multiple locations. Alex calls it my paranoia protocol, but I prefer verification system. Either way, it helps me sleep at night. The preliminary hearing for Tyler and Kayla is scheduled for next month. The prosecutor says their case is strong, especially with multiple victims testifying. Tyler's been denied bail due to his prior convictions and the threatening behavior he displayed during our confrontation. Kayla's out on bond, but prohibited from contacting any victims or returning to Westside Properties. They'll probably offer a plea deal, Detective Reeves tells me during our weekly update call. These types usually do when confronted with overwhelming evidence. I'm unpacking books in my new living room when I get a text from an unknown number. I freeze, staring at the preview on my lock screen. You think this is over? We know where you live. My hands shake as I call Detective Reeves. She assures me it's probably not them. Their electronic communications are being monitored as a condition of Kayla's bond, but sends a patrol car to my building anyway. That night, I lie awake staring at my ceiling, listening to every creak and settling sound in the new apartment. The security system is armed, the cameras are active, the doors are locked. I tell myself I'm safe now. I tell myself they can't hurt me anymore. I tell myself that eventually, I'll stop checking the locks 3 times before bed, stop photographing my belongings when I leave for work, stop wondering if I'm really who I think I am. Eventually, I'll trust my own reality again, but for tonight, I keep the lights on.